It's Super Bowl week, so
Yeah,
40
yeah,
years ago this week, you were in New Orleans.
yeah. Well, I mean, you certainly remember the, a lot of the details, but a lot of it is just the minutia. You go down there, it's the second week, so we had already played the Patriots. So, the first week you put the game plan in and you're really ready. And the second week is just kind of, okay, we're gonna have to do interviews, but we're kind of ready to go. And then you get a little bit anxious. But what really happens is that you're trying to make sure. I had to get out, rent a house for my brothers and sisters, which was across the Mississippi. My parents, they were in the same hotel as we were. Bob Verdi, I had dinner with him like Wednesday night, and he just casually mentioned, "Hey, are you set for tickets?" And I was short two tickets. And Bob had two tickets that turned out to be like on the 40-yard line that he gave to me, but he sold them to me, but he said, "You have no idea where you got these tickets." I go, "What?" He goes, "You have no idea because you know, you shouldn't let anybody know where you got these." And I was like, "Oh yeah, no problem." But when I looked at them, it was like amazing. So you get into all those details, you know, because I was the oldest starter on the defense, and Walter was the oldest starter in the offense. And for 10 years, I probably told people, well, if we ever get to the Super Bowl, give me a call. I can help you, and people took you up on it. It's kind of like when you own a bar, you go, hey, I'll buy you a beer. Come on in. Well, everybody takes me up on that.
Other than the outcome of that game, what for you was the best part of that week?
I think it was just the experience of being with everyone and knowing what a journey that was. That for me really started against the 49ers and we lost the NFC Championship game the year before. Now, McMahon didn't play. We didn't really score points. I had two interceptions in the first half off Joe Montana. But, we were like little kids in the locker room crying after that game. It really just had such an impact. And so from the time we had the first mini camp where Ditka basically gave the message, second best isn't good enough, I think he really had us. And every game and the concentration and beating San Francisco, early in the season, beating the Dallas Cowboys 46 to, God, what was that? 44 to nothing. And that was the first time that I had ever beaten the Cowboys in a preseason, regular season, or postseason game. Obviously, losing the game to Miami, which I think in retrospect really was very helpful for us because we had just beaten Dallas and beaten the Falcons and a little full of yourself. Again, McMahon wasn't in that game, but it's the progress, it's the progression, it's the journey, and doing that with an entire team is just really a great experience.
Gary, you were part of arguably the greatest defense of all time back then. Many feel that that Bears 85 team should have won multiple Super Bowls, and now we've got the Chiefs going for the three-peat. Do you think these Chiefs are better than your Bears?
Well, I think, the game has just changed so much. I mean, it's a quarterback driven, it's a passing game more than the balance that we had. Their defense is really good, but you know what? I'm not taking anything against them because it is so hard to repeat, three-peat. I give them a lot of credit. And I mean, it's different eras. I look at, this is going to be the 40th year, 40 years ago or 40 Super Bowls ago. And, put that in context. If you were asking me this in 1985, you would be trying to make a comparison to 1945, to World War II. I mean, it's not even, you can't even fathom it. And I think in that sense, if I look at the replays of that 85 Super Bowl, wow. I mean, our defense was really good, but our offense was too. And as much as, I give a lot of credit and everybody does to maybe one of the best defenses ever, hey, we had Walter Payton. We had a really good passing game. We had a good offensive line. And you need that complement. You can't just win with one side of the ball. So is Kansas City better than us? I don't think it's a fair comparison, but I give them a lot of credit. They have great coaching. They're great on both the offensive and defensive side of the football. They don't make mistakes. And, you know, hats off to them.
How far do you think today's Bears team, with Caleb Williams now and the new coaching staff, Ben Johnson leading the way, how far do you think this Bears team is from being a playoff team?
Well, if you look at the Washington Redskins, right? The
Yeah.
Washington Commanders, did anyone think that with a new coaching staff and a rookie quarterback, could they get to the playoffs? And they did. So I think one, it's a tough division. Two, they have a tough schedule next year. I mean, think about it. Like they're playing the 49ers because the 49ers came in last place. Well, 49ers aren't going to be in last place next year. I'm sure of that. So I think that, I think what you want to see is progression. I'm really excited about the coaching staff, both the head coach, the offensive coordinator now, uh, the defensive coordinator, but now you have to get the talent to match, hopefully, the coaching. And that will take a couple of years. But I think we want, and we expected last season to see this progression. We didn't see it. But, that's what I think Bear fans should expect. Is it going to happen next year? No. Could it? Should it use it? You make the right decisions. You get the coaches that you think you're hired with, you know, the ability to adjust to games. I think you should expect to be able to say the Super Bowl within 3 years would be a legitimate goal.
I would love it. I want to go back because you referenced being the oldest guy on that 85 defense and Walter Payton being the oldest guy on that offense. Did you feel like the fatherly figure in New Orleans, making sure your teammates were off of Bourbon Street at the proper time during that
Are you kidding
Super
me?
Bowl week?
No way. We would get out of our meetings, and again, we already put the game plan in a week before. So, you know, you didn't want to do something stupid. I'm sure some guys did. I would see friends of mine because there were so many Chicago people on Bourbon Street. And, they were partying so hard, I'm not even sure they recognized who I was. But everybody had fun. And I hear story after story. People took the train down, they flew down, they drove down. New Orleans is a great party place to have a Super Bowl, but I know that everybody was really focused and ready to go on game day.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, let me give you a wrap up. Who are you going with in Super Bowl 59 on Sunday?
I'm hoping the Eagles, but it's hard for me to go against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they don't make mistakes. And, I hope it's a good game. I think everybody, to me, you want someone who hasn't, experienced a Super Bowl victory to be there. The Eagles have done that, but the current team hasn't. And so, I think I hate to say it, a little tired of seeing the same old with the Chiefs, but hats off to them until you beat them. And it's very similar to when, Brady and the Patriots in the same position. You just have to give them credit because they really don't beat themselves, and they have so much talent and experience on both sides of the football.
Yeah, that's for sure. Gary, as always, man, thanks for taking some time and talking with me about the Super Bowl back in '85. Wow.
Yeah, long, long time ago.
Thanks, bud.